Hello dear students, today we will take up lesson number 3, The Seed of Truth by Shraddha Murthy. Here she talks about some good qualities that each and every human being should have. She talks about qualities like truth, kindness, hope, faith and honesty. And the story which we are going to read today, we will see how important it is to become honest. Let us know the characters first and then we will see the story. King Vidyadhara of Gandhara. Gandhara here, the name of the kingdom. Secondly, we have the subjects, that means the people of his kingdom. Thirdly, we have children, and among these children, a boy, named Pingala, a poor farmer's son, plays a great role in the story. What is the theme of the story? The theme of the story is, you see, the king chooses his successor because he had no children. The theme is the selection, of successor. The king selects his successor just because he had no children. And what do we learn in this lesson? We will learn that we should be truthful in whatever we do, even if it is very difficult. So when we read the story, we'll know that this king Vidyadhara was a very good and took much interest in looking after his subjects. And thereby we know, when he grew old, his subjects were much worried just because the king had no children. And then king also was much disturbed. He was greatly troubled. And so he decided that he is going to distribute some seeds to all the children in the kingdom, and then the one who grows the biggest and healthiest plant within 3 months will become the prince or princess. On hearing this, the children as well as the anxious parents gathered outside the palace and waited for the king to give the seeds to them. And among these children who came, as I've already told you here, Pingala, he also came to the palace to collect the seeds from the king. And after few weeks, we see this boy mingled or piled the seed with water and manure, but the plant did not appear. Pingala tried changing the soil and transferred the seed to another pot, but even at the end of 3 months, nothing appeared. And what happened to the other children? These children replaced the seed. They changed the seed, and planted another seed, and they got what? They got a plant in the pot. And at the end of 3 months, they came to the palace to show the king that they had grown the plant. And here we see the Pingala also came to the palace, and he was not at all willing to show the king because he had nothing in the pot. So the other children were showing, but the king was not happy with them. And at the end, he came to Pingala and asked him these questions, Child, why have you come with an empty pot? Could you not grow anything? And in reply, what he said, Forgive me, your highness. I tried my best. I gave it the best soil and manure I had, but the plant would not grow. See the sincerity in this boy. He was very honest. Okay, he said honestly. What he said, I tried my best. I gave it the best soil and the manure. Okay, whatever he was supposed to do, he did it. Okay, honestly. And thereby, we see the king rewarded him. The king announced in front of the others that this boy, okay, this Pingala is going to become the prince. And the others were very much perplexed. They were confused by the words of the king. And when they asked him, the king replied that he had given everyone roasted seeds which it never grew. And this is the explanations that he gave to the others. A roasted seed cannot grow into a plant. So, who was honest? Were the other children honest? Not at all. They cheated the king, isn't it? And grew a plant. Whereas here, this boy Pingala, honestly, he tried, he piled it with water and manure, and then, he changed the soil, even, he transferred the seeds to another pot, but nothing happened, just because the seed was roasted. So let us now read the story and try to understand further. Long ago, Gandhara was ruled by the just and good king Vidyadhara. His subjects were very happy, but as the king grew older, everyone got more and more worried. The king did not have any children who could take over the reins of the kingdom after him. So we see this king, he was very just, he was very honest and good to his subjects. That's why, when he grew old, everyone in the kingdom got more and more worried. Because if the other successor, if other king comes and rule or reign over the kingdom, may not look after their needs. So it was a matter to think of. The king was an avid gardener. Avid means expert. He was a very expert gardener who spent a lot of time in tending his garden, planting the finest flowers, fruit trees and vegetables. One day, after he had finished working in the garden, he proclaimed. Proclaimed means he announced. What did he announce? That I will distribute some seeds to all the children in the kingdom. The one who grows the biggest, healthiest plant within 3 months will become the prince or princess. So this was the announcement of the king which he made in front of the people. The next day, there was a long line of anxious parents and children outside the palace. On hearing this one, you can see anxious. Anxious means they were very much worried. His subjects, that means the people of the kingdom, were much worried. And you see, they make a long queue outside the palace. Pingala and one child. One child. You see, who is that? Pingala, a poor farmer's son, was among these children. Like the king, he too was fond of gardening and grew beautiful plants in his backyard. He took the seed from the king and planted it in a pot with a great care. So you see, this boy Pingala also went and collected the seed from the king. After some weeks passed, he piled it with water and manure, but the plant did not appear. Pingala tried changing the soil, transferred the seeds to another pot, but even at the end of 3 months, nothing appeared. So see the consequences. What happened? Though he was a very expert gardener, like the king, he could not grow. Just because what? What is the reason? The reason is the seed was roasted one. Just because of that seed did not grow. At last, the day came when all the children had to go to the king to show the plant that they had grown. They started walking to the palace, dressed in their best, holding beautiful plants in their hands. Only Pingala stood sadly, watching them go by. Pingala's father had watched his son working hard with the seed and felt sorry for him. Why don't you go to the king with the empty pot? He suggested. At least he will know you tried your best. So this is what he suggested to his son Pingala, that you worked hard. Whatever you could do, you did it. Now you go to the king and tell him. So we'll be reading after here only, and on the next day we'll continue from here. And I ask everyone that you write the word meanings which are given in the book. Please write them down in your copy and read this passage at least once or twice. Hope I have made it clear to you. Thank you so much.